This right here has got to be one of the coolest pickup trucks on the market. I'll include a link to Warner Ineos Grenadier's website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbo 3-liter inline 6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic. Now the EPA rates this at 14 around town, 14 on the highway. With my Grenadier station wagon, I was able to get 17, 18 miles per gallon. Power outputs on this are 282 horsepower and then 331 pound-feet of torque. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Just like a lot of old school boxy off-roaders, we've got a very upright windshield. The Trialmaster comes standard with the raised air intake. And then there's a separation between the hood and the fenders, so you can actually use the fenders to set stuff on them. Now you have your standard on-road lights with the daytime running lights, and then you've got off-road lights here in the center. This comes with plenty of underbody protection. We also have recovery points as well. And all together, you can see again, it looks like an old school off-roader, and that's the point. Tire wheel setup is 265 by 70 by 17. You can fit 33s on stock suspension, no rubbing, no lift needed. Speaking of stock suspension, this has solid axles front and rear. Got those off-road looking fender flares, and then you guys can see all the attachment points here on the side. This one has power integrated up top, so it's easy to add accessories, and then you got a black roof on this one. It looks like this one also has the sport bar too, which is cool. But taking a few steps back, this is the size of a mid-size pickup truck, and the two-tone design on it definitely makes it pop a bit more. When it comes to the key fob, we've got our lock and unlock function, and you have this cool kind of flip-out design, and it's very chunky and very hefty feeling. Now, popping open the tailgate, it's not dampened or anything, so you have to lower it down to your own force. Simplicity. Now, from the factory, you've got one spare tire, but then there's space for another. On the right-hand side of the bed, underneath that cover is an outlet, and the bed has protection from the factory, so you don't have to worry about scratching paint. When it comes to the tailgate itself, it's actually very light. You got circular taillights just like the station wagon, then an upgraded bumper here in the rear. It has parking sensors integrated too. So just like Jeep with the Wrangler and the Gladiator, Ineos has the station wagon and then the truck version here in the Quartermaster. Let's now pop inside. Now this has my favorite interior. You can see the rugged trim up top, and then you've got the cloth down below. And that theme continues with the seats. The cloth inserts, I think, create nice contrast, and they're actually really comfortable. Now what's definitely less comfortable is the legroom back here. I can't really squeeze my legs too much. I could move the front seat forward a bit and make it work, but still it's a tighter fit. I do at least get vents back here, an outlet, and some USB ports. Now you can definitely make the back seat area work, but I would kind of use it more for storage, and that's what I've seen most people use it for. Let's now pop up front. Got the cool boxy mirrors, and then you've got more of that nice trim all over the front door panel. Really solid payload capacity of 1,473 pounds. And then taking a look at the front seat again, you've got the mesh insert. The seats are manually adjustable again for simplicity. And you notice all the trim is easy to clean, including the floors, and everything's supposed to be able to be sprayed out, kind of like a Wrangler. And flip out key, pop it in, boom. Now when it comes to the steering wheel itself, soft touch all around. You got the perforated trim on the center portion, and of course we still have the toot function. But I really do want to emphasize the controls here on the steering wheel are very easy to read, very easy to use. Same thing with the stalks there on the back. And then you just have a warning cluster, which means that you have an unobstructed view over the hood, which is really nice for both on-road and off-road use. Backup camera in reverse gets the job done. They've got the screen in the center, which contains the gauge cluster and infotainment system. Gauge cluster's on the left-hand side, always visible. You get used to it in 2 seconds. People need to stop complaining. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the infotainment system section, which is easy to use. It's pretty quick to respond. It does take a second for some of the pages to load up, but really user-friendly. And I love the statistics tab on off-road. It shows you elevation change and basically where you've been. Now below that, we actually have a compass built in. This is kind of another cool feature. Might be gimmicky to some people, but it's nice to have. And then we have a bunch of physical buttons, very nice tactile feel with everything, but this is for your climate, for your heated seats, for the radio, also features like your park assist and stop start for the engine if you can turn that off. The nice stitching here on the handbrake. Got our shifter for the transmission. Again, it's BMW engine, so you got a BMW shifter, pretty easy there. And then you've got your shifter for the four-wheel drive select. It's a square pattern where you can have it with the center diff locked in four-wheel drive high or low, or have the center diff unlocked four-wheel drive high or low. They do give you physical controls here for the radio there in the center, and then you got the center console, some USB ports in a 12 volt. And I will say I like this, they've got this like synthetic trim now, kind of like the feel of it. A lot of manufacturers going for this. It's on the seats as well. I've heard it holds up a little bit better over time. Now, being a Trialmaster means we've got all the auxiliary switches from the factory, and yes, you've got this cool cockpit style up top. Diff locks for the front and for the rear. We also have our off-road driving mode, waiting mode 2, and then you got downhill assistant up in front, ESC, and then like stuff like light leveling, which on a lot of cars it's automatic, but this, again, everything's manual for simplicity's sake. This one is also equipped with the Safari windows, which if you can afford to get them, I think they're definitely worth it. You're not gonna be able to see the window sticker very well, but total MSRP on this after everything is $101,275. Let's take this out and see how the Trialmaster performs. Quartermaster, Trialmaster. Just imagine, like, you say that is, like, what do you drive? Quartermaster, Trialmaster. Wait, what? What? Why are you master of so many things? Well, because it's a Grenadier. Also, why is my phone? Random thing. My phone lately has like random, I always have it on silent, and then just out of nowhere, it just takes itself out of silent. Just all the time now. I don't understand why. iPhone's silly. So, the truck version. I lived with the station wagon for a year, put over 10,000 miles on it, absolutely loved it, and honestly, like coming and reviewing one of these is actually pretty hard. Usually when I get rid of a car, it's like, okay, I've done the long-term test on it. I've kind of learned everything about it. I'm kind of done with it. This is one of the few cars where I'm very sad to not have one anymore. It's kind of like running into your hot ex, but like it was your fault as to why the relationship ended, not their fault. That's what it's like driving a Grenadier again. It's very bittersweet. So the truck version does feel a little bit slower compared to the station wagon. It's, you know, a little bit of a bigger vehicle, like longer wheelbase and everything. I don't think it's actually any heavier. I think it's just, again, it's just longer. But it's a slightly perceptible difference. The suspension is definitely more comfortable with that longer wheelbase. Station wagon's not uncomfortable, but you know, short wheelbase versus long wheelbase is always going to be more comfortable. And you know, a lot of people, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and tell me, like, ask me if this is daily drivable. Again, I put over 10,000 miles on my station wagon, loved it. It's very daily drivable. You get a little bit of wind noise up top, very minimal for a boxy vehicle, way better than a Bronco or Wrangler. Most of the noise is actually tire and road noise, and it's very easy to drown that out with the music. Like, it's got a good sound system, and so super easy fix. Man, I miss everything about this car. So one thing that sucks about YouTube is like you always got to keep on moving forward, and it's like, man, sometimes I just wish I would have not sold it. Definitely. These just feel so unique, and it's a heavy-duty off-roader, and a lot of people don't in the US don't understand this concept. A heavy-duty off-roader is not going to be more capable off-road than a light-duty off-roader. Like, they'll be able to both crawl up the same rock wall. The difference is the heavy-duty off-roader can do it 10 times, whereas the light-duty can maybe do it 5 times. Right? The components are just going to last longer. Daily driving, off-roading, all of it. So it's just a more hardcore vehicle. And from my perspective, extremely appealing, because modern vehicles just, they aren't built like they used to be, and this feels like it's built like they used to be. So it's $100,000. It's a ton of money. I agree with you guys on that. It's a ton of money. The value with this vehicle, especially compared to, like, people compare it to the Gladiator all day, is the HD construction, the powertrain, right? Gladiator still has a dinky NAV6. They wouldn't give it a turbo. It's quite disappointing. Maybe with the emissions rollbacks, they'll do some stuff with the Gladiator. We'll see. Time will tell. But with this vehicle, it's got a better engine than the Gladiator by far. Like, reliability is better with this engine, and the drivability and everything is also just significantly better. So I think it's a win from that front. Like, this low in torque, so good. Sounds great too. And then on top of the powertrain side of things, it's HD. So like, if you're actually doing overlanding, this is a much better vehicle to do than the Gladiator. The Gladiator's going to be a little bit more capable with the rock crawling stuff because of the sway bar disconnect, and Jeep just has better articulation in general. But if you're going to, like, think about this, if you're going to be doing tons and tons of miles off-road and just beating up the car all the time, this stuff is going to last a lot longer, especially compared to, like, Jeep's reliability ain't what it used to be. Come on. I've owned them. I know. I'm doing a long-term test on another Wrangler to see if Jeep has fixed their reliability. We'll see how well that Wrangler does. But that's the Grenadier Quartermaster. It's a lot of money, but outside of the Ram Power Wagon, it's the only HD truck in the US market that has solid axles front and rear and has diff locks front and rear, right? Like you can get a Ford with solid axles front and rear, but you don't have the front diff lock with that. So you kind of got to pick and choose with some of these other ones, whereas this in the Power Wagon, that's it. In the Power Wagon, problem with that is it's got no payload. Excuse me. This has more payload than a Power Wagon. So let me know your thoughts.